The Senate President Pro Tem is the most powerful figure in California. Senate this week, the Democrats in Sacramento voted Mike McGuire as the new leader who will take over for Toni Atkins next year. Toni Atkins is right there. She has led the state Senate since 2018. The senator from San Diego previously led the California Assembly. Senator Atkins, welcome back to The Issue Is.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Alex.
So why the announcement about a transition right now, and why Mike McGuire as a replacement?
Well, Mike has the support of his colleagues in the Senate. He has been my majority leader, and so we've worked together for the last 5 years. It's a natural progression, and I think right now, because the caucus pretty much came together to support him, and when that happens, you need to make the transition, or at least announce a transition. We have 2 weeks to go. And I think it's really important that we're able to move past that determination and decision, because when it starts to happen, it happens, and you need to really make the transition. We've got 2 weeks of hard work to go. And so I want to make sure that we stay focused on the work that's before us in the legislature and get that done.
And so the transition itself will happen early next year?
Mike and I haven't talked about it yet, but that's the anticipation, early 2024. And so we'll get through this session, get the work done, and then we'll have conversations about what that transition looks like and when.
So you have served with so many high-profile leaders over the last several years in Sacramento. What do you think is the most important lesson about leadership you've learned during that time?
Well, whether it's about leadership or any job you want to do, I think listening, paying attention to what's going on around you, and understanding that everybody comes with a perspective and with goals that they want to accomplish. My Republican colleagues, my Democratic colleagues, the legislative branch, the executive branch, and you just have to understand the job is to work through issues with all of those people, all of those groups. And it's so true. We have some incredible leaders in California, from Governor Brown, Governor Newsom. I've served with 2 pro tems and 2 speakers, 1 speaker. Well, 3. You know, see, it's hard to keep the math. 3 speakers. I've negotiated 6 budgets. This will be my 6th end of session in the Senate. So, you know, I feel like I feel fortunate to have this experience, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to serve not just my community of San Diego, but California.
Who is the biggest jerk of all of them? No, just kidding.
Oh, no. They may say me. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about you. When you were a little girl growing up in Virginia, did you ever imagine a career like this?
Oh, no. You know, Alex, I just wanted to be considered part of society. I mean, I grew up in a house with no running water. We didn't have health care. My dad was a lead and a coal miner, later a construction worker. My mom worked in factories. We had no running water. The house was, well, you know, rural poverty. So all I wanted was to be able to fit in and to be part of society. And you know, so no, of course not. I could have never imagined this.
And then you ended up in San Diego, and then you ended up with Jennifer, who is now your spouse. How did Jennifer change your life?
Well, I think she had the confidence I needed to learn for myself. Jennifer really helped support that. She grew up internationally, originally from Ohio, but grew up internationally in a diplomatic family. So it was a colliding of 2 very different worlds. But I think similar values. You know, she grew up in some third world countries, and her love of economic development, infrastructure, housing just matched very closely with my goals and my values. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful partnership. We celebrate our 15th year of marriage this next week. And of course, we've been together longer. We were able to get married 15 years ago, but it's been a wonderful partnership. Thank you for asking about Jennifer.
Happy anniversary to you.
Thank you.
And you think about what a journey the state has been to even allow you to be married, because of course that wasn't legal before then. And now you're continuing to advocate for LGBTQ legislation. You're advocating for something called SB 447, known as the Bridge bill. What is that? How would that work?
Well, the Bridge Act 447, thank you, Alex. What it will do is basically create a program, an educational outreach program that would go across America and really rescind the travel ban. You know, we started the ban and it effectively applied to probably 3 or 4 states. Namely, you'll remember the discussion between us and North Carolina about the bathroom ban. And so it was effectively a ban and a travel ban. But now we're at 26 states. And while I think it was effective in the beginning to send a message of we are different, we are a beacon, we think it is better to be inclusive, you know, it began to lose its power the more states that we're effectively not able to travel to, you know, with the support of the state and our very important roles. And we needed to do a shift or a pivot to be able to send the message of inclusion and diversity and acceptance. And we think this is a better way to do that by being present, not isolating ourselves away from 26 other states by not technically being able to go there. And so, you know, it would be a campaign, an educational campaign to spread love and diversity and acceptance, building bridges.
So essentially, instead of saying California workers aren't allowed to travel to these other states on official business, there's going to be an educational outreach campaign in those states funded by California. Is that it?
Effectively, yes. It's a donation-driven program of messaging. And you've seen some of this on TV. I mean, I like to think of the best examples I can give is when we watch sports, you know, the big game, whether it's the Super Bowl or some national competition, you typically see really positive ads or commercials that highlight what it means to be a diverse athlete or someone struggling for success against adversity. And those typically are very positive messages. The one I remember from being a kid was a Coca-Cola commercial. You may be too young, Alex, to remember this, but it was a song, "I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony." And everybody grabs hands and holds hands across the world, across the globe. And I never forgot that. I mean, that was 50 years ago. And I still remember the impact or what that felt like to me, that was warm, that was nice. You see it with my personal favorite, Dolly Parton. She's got billboards well, she is in California. I would only assume they're elsewhere. And the message is be kind. Kindness matters. And I think for us in California, you know, I heard stories coming to me about academic researchers who couldn't travel on the UC or the CSU, our higher educational institutions, to do research because they couldn't use university or campus funds to do the travel. They had to come up with their own money. And so the stories continued to accumulate. And I thought, well, this isn't working. If we can't be present in communities to communicate with other people, it's the personal contact that really makes the difference. It's being up close and personal and knowing people. It's what changed my parents' view of a daughter who came out to them as a lesbian. It was that interaction. And so the campaign would be an educational outreach campaign, donation-driven, with a national campaign organization, no politicians, no candidates. It's really about the messaging.
By the way, not only do I remember that ad, but so do the producers of Mad Men. I don't know if you watched that show. Spoiler.
You know, I miss a few things.
Okay.
Now and then.
All right. Spoiler alert. Don't watch the finale then. Or maybe do watch the finale.
I may go right to that.
It's a huge
I may
part
go
of
right to that. You've piqued my interest.
Yeah. All right. Well, recently, when the governor and lieutenant governor were out of state, you served as acting governor, signing some bills, first LGBTQ person to do that. Did this feel good? When you were doing that, you thought, this looks okay.
I was really nervous.
Are you seriously now considering a run for governor in 2026?
Well, I think that's way premature. Was it cool to be able to sign 3 bills that were important to 3 legislators, one being our new speaker? Absolutely. But Alex, I was really mindful of being a woman and LGBTQ and the shoulders I have stood on to be able to do that and what it meant for those communities to see someone like them. It harkens back to the Bridge Act, which is if I had grown up in a community where I saw positive images, I would have felt more confident coming into the world about who I was. And I didn't have that. And so I think it's really important. I'm making a nexus, obviously, to standing in and being able to sign a few bills. A young kid from Appalachia who grew up in poverty, who came to my adopted home of California and was given every opportunity. I want every young kid to feel that. I know what it feels like to be the other, different, looked down upon, whether because I'm a Southern Appalachian by birth or whether I'm a woman or LGBTQ. I know what that feels like. And to be able to be in a position of power and influence to be used for something as wonderful as diversity, that feels good. And of course, the saddest thing is my parents are no longer here. So they didn't get to see the positive influence they had on my life. And I just want every young person to be able to feel that. And the Bridge Act really is a part of that bigger set of values in not just California, but across the country. California was a beacon for me.
Well, so it sounds like you may run for governor. You just haven't decided yet.
Oh, you did ask that question. I'm passionate about service, and we'll see. I really am serious. You asked me about leadership. What I've learned is I need to stay focused on what's in front of me. And what's in front of me is this legislation that we have worked all year, hundreds of bills that my colleagues and I have worked all year to bring to completion. I cannot have anything divert from that because that would not be honor in the process. And so I'm going to be focused on the next few weeks. And then I'm going to be focused on working with Senator McGuire, the pro tem designee, to figure out how we move into next year. And then I have some time to think about that. I would like to serve. We will see in what way I may have an opportunity to do that.
We know you are obsessed with Dolly Parton. What is it about Dolly?
She is so authentically herself, and she somehow always has been. And I just really love that. I mean, I love her music. I grew up on her music. She's from just down the road from where I grew up in Tennessee, Sevier County. And she has used her talent to be successful. But then you think about what she's done with that. We were able, Shannon Grove, Republican Shannon Grove from Bakersfield, and I were able to work together to support and bring to California Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, which is about literacy and kindness. And it's just a coming together of all my worlds, which I love. I just think Dolly is a real icon, but someone who does it in a way that is about positive and happiness. And I think she's a wonderful role model.
All right. Well, we play a game on this show called Personal Issues, where we put 30 seconds on the clock and ask you about your cultural favorites. You've played this before, but we're doing a special version just for you. And the questions are only about Dolly Parton.
Oh, gosh.
So here we go. Your Dolly Parton favorites. What's your favorite Dolly song of all time?
Well, I have many, but the first that comes to mind is Smoky Mountain Memories.
Favorite Dolly album?
Oh, gosh. They're all, you can't do that.
All right.
They're all, she's got so many.
Best Dolly duet?
Oh, Islands in the Stream.
Best movie Dolly's in?
Steel Magnolias.
Very nice. Over 9 to 5. There we go.
Strong women, strong women.
Love it. Senator Toni Atkins, thank you so much. We hope sometime you will join us in studio to dance to Dolly music with us. But in the meantime, we've got it virtually. My favorite Dolly song, Jolene, as we go to break. Senator Atkins, thanks so much. And now your chance to rock out.
Thank you.
Jolene.